Hi guys, it's Crystal with Design Bundles. Today I'm going to show you guys how to create a weeding box in Cricut Design Space to make weeding your projects so much easier. So let's go ahead and get started. Now that we're over here in Cricut Design Space, let me show you guys how to create a weeding box. So what we're going to do is, I've already brought in my design, I've already sized it down. You want to make sure that you have already sized down your design, and you also want to make sure that it's already attached or welded together. Now what we're going to do is come over here to shapes, and we're going to bring in a square. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a square around each one of these words. So that way it makes our lives a whole lot easier when it comes to weeding. So I've got my square here. I'm going to come down here to unlock, and I'm going to start to size this down with this one right here. All right, so I'm going to drag it over, and I'm going to hover over my design. Now, in order to see what I'm doing here, I need to come up to arrange and hit send to back. So now what we're going to do is kind of move this around and just make sure that we are not touching any of our designs. I'm just going to size this down. I can actually move this up if I'd like, and we can actually bring this over, because you just need enough to create a little box right around our words. So for example, you want to make sure that your font's not like this to where it's going to cut off. So you want to make sure it's nice and centered inside of your weeding box. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and duplicate that right over here, and we're going to do the next one. So I'm going to unlock it again and bring it over. We'll come to arrange, send to the back, and we're just making sure nothing's touching. Same thing, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. Now you could also do it in a complete row if you would like to. So if you had a really big design, lots of words, you could definitely do it in rows instead of individual. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going. I'm going to hit unlock, and I'm going to bring this down and bring it over. Come to arrange, send to the back. Now I'm going to go ahead and repeat that process for the last two. Now, once you have all of your weeding boxes, you're going to double check yourself and make sure that none of your design is touching, or it will cut your design in half. So nothing's touching, everything looks good. So now what we're ready to do is come up here to select all. And what you need to do is don't hit weld, you want to hit attach. So what this is going to do is make sure that everything cuts in the same spot. So this is basically going to cut out these squares at the same time so we can weed in layers. If you notice, everything changed the same color, and that's totally fine. We're actually going to be cutting this out in black, but we can leave it as gray, because if you turn it to black, you're not going to be able to see what's happening here. So now what we're going to do is hit make it. And now you're going to see that it's on our mat, and we have all of these boxes around it. Now, if your boxes were separate from your words, you need to go back and make sure that you hit attach. All right, so now we're good to go. So I need to use my 12 by 24 mat, and I need to cut a piece 5 by 16. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cut out, and I'll meet you back over in the craft room. All right, so I've got everything ready to go. I'm using my Cricut 12 by 24 mat, and I'm using StarCraft HD in the rolls. Now you could definitely cut this down. I'm just going to cut a piece on there, and I'll cut it down here in a little bit. So what we're going to do is smooth this out and load it up. This is matte, by the way. I love the matte when it comes to signs instead of the glossy. And this is their permanent, by the way. So I'm using my iPad here, and I also have turned on 2 times speed, so this will cut out a whole lot faster. Now, like I said, you could definitely cut this down, so I know that I needed like 5 by 16. I could have just cut that strip down, but it's just as easy enough to load it on there and then remove it. So you can see the easy way to remove it is flip your mat upside down and pull your mat off of your vinyl, and it will stay straight and won't curl up. So I'm going to take my scissors and quickly trim it down and remove the excess. I'm going to take my pen tool and start weeding away. So now you can see it's in boxes. So instead of it trying to peel off in one long strip, we're able to do it in sections. So you can see I'm going through there and I'm getting all the letters. Now, obviously my O came up there, but that's stuff that's just going to happen anyways. But this is just making it a whole lot easier instead of trying to peel all of it without dropping your vinyl back onto your project and getting stuck to other letters. It's just a whole lot easier. Now, I'm using paper transfer tape. I like the 6-inch rolls because they're perfect for things like this. Using my scraper tool to adhere it to the transfer sheet. and then we will peel it off of the backing and start to apply it. Now I found this cute little sign over at Hobby Lobby, so you can just check your craft stores. And I'm just going to hover over it and figure out my placement, lay it down, and scrape it down. And it looks good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.